Title: The Whispering Hearth. Autumn is coming to Larch Hollow, and Larch Hollow has never been in the papers. A speck on the map, hidden in the folds of dead cornfields and weeping willows. A city that smells of wood smoke and rain-soaked leaves all year round. This is a place where time turns short, where children grow up and become the same hollow-eyed adults who never dared to leave. When autumn came, it came quickly, flying on the backs of black crows and piercing winds. The chimneys began to breathe again. The bakery was filled with cinnamon perfume, and the old people, as they did every year, whispered about the house on Thistle Lane. "It's that time again," said Miss Cartwright, the librarian, as she locked her doors early in the morning and turned to face the approaching dusk. A boy named Eli heard her, even though she didn't know about it. 12 years old, curious and smart, the kind who reads too much and asks the wrong questions. He tucked the thought into his coat pocket like a seed. That night, while his parents were dozing in armchairs in front of the fireplace, Eli got out of the house with a flashlight and his grandfather's old compass. He was pointing not to the north, but to something more ancient, something waiting. The house on Thistle Lane had no number. There was no mailbox. There was no driveway, just a sagging fence and windows that stared like cataracts in a blind man's skull. Eli stopped in front of her, the grass crunching under his sneakers. His flashlight flickered, then went out. The wind changed, and the door, massive, oak with runes engraved on it, opened with a sigh. He stepped inside. The air was warm, not dusty, not abandoned. The fireplace crackled in the living room, and the wallpaper smelled of cloves and sulfur. There was a man sitting by the fire, or a memory of him. He had sharp fingers, even sharper teeth, and eyes like ink spilled into milk. He was wearing a robe that shimmered like bat wings. "Eli," the figure said without turning around. "Welcome. I didn't tell you my name. You shouldn't have done that. What the demons are suggesting, they called him a charcoal burner." He told Eli stories about angels who fell because they were jealous of people, about whispers carried on the wind, about deals made on cold nights when hearts beat too loudly. "Demons," the charcoal burner said, "do not appear with horns and pitchforks. They appear in silence, in need." There is a long pause between the question and the answer to it. "Would you like to see them?" Eli, trembling, said yes. The room went dark. Shadows crept out of the corners like old wallpaper. The figures took shape, tall, curved, beautiful, and terrifying. One had wings made of broken mirrors. The other had a face that was changing with every passing moment. "They're not lying," said the coal miner, "but they always take it." Eli was shown the book, leather-bound, buzzing with heat. Inside, names. Some were written in ink, others are ashes. "You can ask me a favor," the coal miner said. "One single wish. They will do it." Eli thought about his mother's coughing fits, about how his father's hands trembled when he counted the money, about the cold coming through the cracks in the walls. He reached for his pen. The wish that Eli asked for is not about wealth, not about power. He asked for time. "There's enough time," he said, "for my family to be happy." The coal miner nodded. The demons hissed. The book closed by itself. When Eli came out of the house, it was already light. The birds were singing too sweetly. The air was too calm. When he returned home, he saw that his parents were smiling and somehow looked younger, and the house was warmer than ever. The fridge was full. The lights were always on. His mother danced to old jazz records. His father carved wooden toys by the fireplace. The days passed. Weeks. Autumn has arrived, and Eli began to notice something. The clock never struck midnight. The mail never arrived. The neighbors still didn't wave. Larch Hollow is stuck. And every night, the house on Thistle Lane across the street watched what was happening. The expenses that Eli paid. "You got it all mixed up," he said. "That's not what I wanted." "You asked for time," said the charcoal burner, sipping smoke from a cup. "Now you have it. In fact, forever. Trapped at the most opportune moment. Unless you're trading." Eli looked at the fireplace. The flame pulsed. A figure moved inside. "Someone else," the coal miner whispered. "The name is in the book. Yours is not. Theirs is." Eli shook his head, but the idea took root. The final recording. The next day, Eli was sitting in the library. He watched other children playing outside. He laughed, not noticing how silence was gathering around them. That evening, he opened the book again. He roared the name. "Not my parents, not a friend, my own." And the demons came. They didn't drag him screaming. They didn't even touch him. They invited him. He stepped into the hearth, where the fire turned blue, and the shadows welcomed him home. 7. Epilogue. The years have passed. The Larch Hollow was forgotten. The house on Thistle Lane is still standing. The coal miner is still waiting. Sometimes children find it. Sometimes they ask questions. And the demons always respond.